going to find that the smaller lessons require a great deal of research. This is a very small lesson, requires a lot of research because the research is available. We're just giving you some keys. Reading on, it says, the Negroes cannot solve their problems by immigration. Now listen to that close. This has been the main thrust of the largest quote-unquote Negro organization on the planet, which is NAACP. So Negroes cannot solve their problems by immigration. And there's a reason for that beyond what we're going to explain, because if you understand the Europeans, they are what you call a sacrificial people. They believe in sacrifice. They will sacrifice a great deal of their own just to get all of another group of people. There's part of the white race, of the European race, the Caucasian people, that they would just chalk up as casualties in the name of the cause. So we can integrate all we want, but you're going to find that the ones that we integrate with, they're going to chalk up as sacrifices and just give them up. Okay? And that's just the way they think. And that's the reality. If you pay close attention to this is what the plan they function.
Listen for a little
okay,
bit.
brother, you got a comment?
Yeah, the comment that I have is dealing with the sacrifice by the white man as far as lives are concerned. If we view wars, World War I, World War II, and wars that preceded that, we see that there was a sacrifice. In the Civil War, for instance, you see the sacrifice fought with the black soldiers. World War I, you see the sacrifice with the black soldiers, some of the poor white soldiers. World War II, World War III, Korean War, the Vietnam War, all sacrifices. So we already know that there's a sacrifice with poor people, poor white, and all. It doesn't matter if rich or poor black, he can be sacrificed. And then, from that point, we see that
man, y'all talk to me. Let me know what's going on.
Which really don't have to sacrifice.
Get at me in the chat, bro.
Clean up the aftermath.
Okay, that was he has a comment he wanted to make.
I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on what the brother said. That means that white person that's working next to you on your job, he's also a sacrificial type person also.
Exactly. You got the picture. Okay, so I can see
right now y'all listen to
trying to make.
that Horace
Greeley. Understand, just from your own personal observations, that you can see this whole thing happening. There's nothing mystical or magical about it. It's a reality, it's a fact, you can see it. Now, I was at a seminar, and at the seminar, it dealt with what they call today, quote-unquote, satanic cults. And while I was in the seminar, one of the women stood up and said, where do they get these ideas from? Where do they get these ideas of sacrificing people and sacrificing this? In the name of this
satanic ritual,
Tony
the Metal, DJ Search.
When I was listening at this lady talk, being a Moor, one who investigates, who studies things, the first thought that came to my mind is that I can understand why she's so confused. She can't understand where they get the idea of all this sacrificing from. Haven't she ever read the Old Testament? The Old Testament is full of sacrifice, sacrifice. The whole thing, all these ideas was presented in the
name of the blood. Name of the spirit. Hold on, cut out for a second. Yeah, this is just some editing.
Okay, you got a comment, brother?
It's right back.
Had to deal with your question.
Yeah, we gonna if they not already on the site, we gonna have them on the site pretty soon for download. FedsProvince.org. Check me out. And also, if you don't know, and I've been talking about it, I've been putting up VioletObsidian.com. That's the new, that's the new spot. We doing it real big over there. Shout out StreetPolyNews.com. That's another one of my projects that's out here. But we doing a lot of things in the streets, man. Moving and grooving. Gonna be at New Music Monday tonight at Stankonia. So y'all definitely come in, pull up if you in the A. Tap in for the win. Man, we definitely doing some things, man. Like I said, we live in the A. Get it. So y'all Pay attention, man.
To establish the Christian church.
Or can I say, the Moorish story? What we're explaining to you is that a lot
From what the brother said, that means
of sacrifice a great deal of your own just to get all of another group of people. There's part of the white race or the European race across we integrate all we want, but you're going to find that the ones that we integrate with, they're going to chop off as sacrifices. They just give them up. Okay? And that's just the way they think. And that's the reality. If you pay close attention, you can see. This is what
They're sacrificing their folks. Just like they sending them overseas right now. They're fighting to die for nothing. They're going to get bombed out. They said they're trying to take their island.
As far as lives are concerned.
Line these folks up for the impossible.
World War I, World War II, and War.
Pete, they already, you know what I mean? Well, we already know really that this is for show. You know what I mean? It's a shit show for shit show. But it's really for show, bro. Like they've been trying to perform these active ritual sacrifices in your face with themselves and others, but mostly with themselves now, because we ain't falling for the okie doke no more. But they send them overseas right now. They already got these folk, you know what I mean, ready to fall out and crash out by the bit. And all over this Zionism stuff, man. Like really, and that's the craziest part too. You know what I mean? Because you openly got Pete Hegseth talking about some old, you know what I mean? This is World War III. This is, you know what I mean? This is the end of the world. This is Revelations and all of that. But if you know, you know, this is the age of revealing. So all that we've been talking about is being revealed, and it's just being laid out plain and simple. It's just the more the same old, just going over. It really ain't no new jug to the thing. It's just they said they was gonna do this. They said they was gonna, you know, pull the wool over everybody's eyes, and then there was gonna be a period when everything was gonna come out. And now we in that period, and it's like from Epstein on down. And I just put Epstein at the top because that's what most folks know about. You know what I mean? That's what everybody paying attention to, and you know that's what they got on the front of their mind. But from that on down, bro, all of the quote unquote conspiracies are now being proven as everyday facts. So it's like I've been real quiet about this shit because it's just like, what else can I say? Like we've been doing this for over 10 years now. You know what I mean? Moles, this is me personally, but you know, as far as the moles that I know, them 50s and 60s or better, and then going all the way back to the prophet time. All right. So from 1913 to all, you know what I mean, 2026, right? We all been misconstrued and been on a journey. And we're coming to the next stage, right? So let's get back into it.
We see that there was a sacrifice in World War.
Live full effect, man. Like I said, in the A time, man. Go one time. Y'all tap in for the win, twin.
You see the sacrifice of the black soldiers, some of the poor white soldiers. World War II, World War III, Korean War, the Vietnam War, all sacrifices. So we already know that there's a sacrifice for poor people, poor white, and all. It doesn't matter if rich or poor black, equally sacrifice.
Y'all, rest of y'all that's coming through, y'all. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments what y'all thinking.
They sending their rich white boys.
What y'all want to talk about, whatever. You know what I mean? We live right now. I don't know what time is it. 4:35. We got a little bit of time, man. We can post it up.
He has a comment he want to make.
I just want to elaborate a little bit on what the brother said. That means that white person that's working next to you on your job, you know, he's also a sacrificial type person also.
Exactly. You know, you got the picture. Okay, so I can see that you understand the point I'm trying to make. And you can understand, you know, just from your own personal observations, that you can see this whole thing happening. There's nothing mystical or magical about it. It's a reality, it's a fact, you can see it. Now, I was at a seminar, and at the seminar, it dealt with what they call today, quote unquote, satanic cults. And while I was in the seminar, one of the women stood up and said, where do they get these ideas from? Where do they get these ideas of sacrificing people and sacrificing this, you know, in the name of their satanic rituals and satanic understanding? I can't understand where these thoughts originated. Well, you know, when I was listening at this lady talk, you know, being a person, being a Moor, one who investigates, who studies things, the first thought that came to my mind, she can't understand where they get the idea of all this sacrificing from. You ever read the Old Testament? I mean, the Old Testament is full of sacrifice, this, blood sacrifice. The whole thing, all these ideas was presented and induced through their quote.
It's gonna come back.
Okay, you got a comment from me?
Yes, the comment had to deal with your question, or your answer, well, I should say your question about the church, as far as the church existing in the Old Testament. My question is to you, did the church come into existence during the Old Testament or after the Old Testament to the New Testament when the word of Jesus Christ was taken in what we call the gospel? Did the church originate after that? Because as we know, there was no such thing as Christianity, but the Romans gave that label of Christians or followers of Jesus Christ, and thus the church was supposed to have originated and under the guidance and leadership of Peter and Paul.
Man, if y'all want to donate, go on donate. You want to join the membership, go on join the membership.
Christ, because they were supposed to have first-hand knowledge of his word.
Hey, because we
Okay, brother, I understand.
I don't even know if I'm gonna leave this up for everybody. It's too
What you
deep.
gotta do
It's be going in, man. If you here, you in here.
Their story, or can I say his story,
Tell a friend,
is
man.
the Moorish story. Now, what we're explaining to you is that a lot of those ideas picked up in terms of what church means, where the scripture started, what they Jesus, and what all this means, you're going to have to forget. Those are just allegories trying to express something else. When you say, well, is the church a manifestation of the New Testament or a manifestation of the Old Testament? The New and the Old Testament are both manifestations of church. The church. When you understand religion and where it all originated from, like I was explaining to you before, it all comes from science, Islam. Okay, the Moabite masters and the early Moors practiced, not worshipped, practiced science, Islam. The European was enslaved. The Europeans were also under Islam and many of the mixed dark-skinned, kinky-haired Moors, because now it wasn't a color thing, it was a class thing. Because you had your cultural aristocratic Moors on one plane of living, then you had your second-class Moors and another third-class Moors on another plane. You had Europeans totally out of the picture. So all these lower levels are applying pressure on the upper level. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to show you the origin of this church concept, where it all comes from. Before Horace Greeley commissioned these group of individuals to rewrite everything. History, religion, everything. They practice.
And really, religion, as most people know it, is really just a class-based warfare system, right? But true religion realigns you with yourself in the universe and your God and whatnot. But religion, as we know it, is a class-based warfare system. It's a public extension of a secret society that operates, as exoterically. You know what I mean? You have the esoteric or the secret, and you have the exoteric, which is the public. But I digress. Let's keep going.
Signs of Islam. Now, when you get into the lessons, you're going to see that the Europeans, when they gained their freedom and during the 360 years they were fighting for their freedom, established a
Oh, and that's why the Shriners, you know what I mean? You'll just hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, right? And shh, mum's the word.
All the orders. But all the orders they established came from the science of Islam. That's what they said. The European queens established their own religions, but they qualified the religions through the understanding of Islam. They understood the basic principles of spiritual evolution, spiritual development. And from this, they tagged it on to their personal goals, their personal strife, their personal place in society, and created their own order, which from that came what we call Catholicism. That's what, when we say that there is only one church, which is the Catholic Church, and all the other orders are protesting that church, when the Europeans broke from Islam, they established their order, which was Catholicism. Now, other different divisions broke off of Islamism, Buddhism, but the one we're dealing with now is Catholicism, because that's the one of the European, our main concern. That's our main concern right now. Okay? Others bring thoughts. The beast divided itself into many heads.
Let me know in the comments
right
where
now,
y'all
I'm
watching
just getting
from,
to a
man.
point of concern.
Where y'all at with it?
Just the one church was the Catholic Church, because prior to that it was Islam. But the Catholic Church was set up in such that only certain people were permitted in it, which were particularly Europeans. Other people wanted to deal with this frame of mind and this spiritual development, but they could not really permit them to be Catholic because they were too dark, or too this or too that. So in protest to the Catholic Church, they took that Bible and started their own little groups. That's because it was either a Catholic or a Protestant or a Catholic or a Protestant, as they are called today. So I understand your question. What we're trying to do is put it in perspective to what we're trying to accomplish through these lessons, through this understanding, through this knowledge. So the New and the Old Testament are manifestations of the church, because the church is responsible for the whole Bible that we're studying under today. King James, the King James Version, King James and Roman Catholics. So both the New and the Old Testament are manifestations from the same order. Period. The New Testament and the Old Testament did not start the church started the Testaments. If you follow where I'm at. Okay? So I'm not trying to talk around or blow it through, I'm just trying to put it in perspective, because you're caught what a lot of people call it this. I mean, this man scientifically implanted these ideas and these thoughts in our mind and our psychic and in our different planes. It was going to be hard to shake them. And now I expect a question, coming from their concept, because you can't shake a thing like that overnight. But when you understand what we're trying to put down, and you're not, like I said, it may be several.
Man, you really come into this knowledge and whatnot, like it's really a purge process at the end of the day. Like the first few months, first few years, like you have to really readjust your perspectives on things and some things that really affect day-to-day life. But y'all let me know what y'all thinking, where y'all coming from, man. Y'all tap in for the win. But yeah, man, it take a lot. And it's like you got to keep studying and keep going, keep moving with it, and keep growing at the end of the day. You feel me?
So you can even absorb to a total understanding these lessons, these elementary lessons. Simple as that. Okay. Well, I hope I covered that. What are we gonna do?
It's a lot of stuff you gonna end up moving past and just like, yeah, I forgot more shit than I know.
I can do lessons. Because we go off on these tangents and we're not going to forget these lessons. But I hope I covered the subject earlier. Do you have any comments on the subject, Brother Johnson? Okay, well, we're going to read on. Now, getting back into it, is there another question? Okay, well, I'm going to read on there. We're going to read on this and finishing up this lesson. Now, recap what I just read. It says, the bottom of the page, says the Negroes could not solve their problems by immigration because people without knowledge of their own history will remain their own slaveholders regardless of integration. Okay, now that brother back there has a comment. What did you want to ask, brother?
The question I would like to ask is dealing with the Torah, which is the first of the Old Testament, which Hebrew law is supposed to, and history is supposed to. A presentation which Minister Farrakhan was speaking about Islam, and he was stating that if we had held fast to the original words of the Bible, which had to deal with the Torah, that there would have been no need for the creation of the Quran, and I need some clarification on that, and also if the Quran, there was a creation of the Quran, where was the correct information wrong from? I'm a little baffled right here.
Okay, I appreciate that question, brother. And I don't want to, follow me close. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have the same feeling that you have. Now, we talk about what the Minister Farrakhan said. I have a lot of respect for that, brother. Okay, we ain't having on two different trips right now, but I have a lot of respect for that, brother. About the Torah and all these books about. What I'm trying to explain to you now is that all this is a mythological, allegorical way of expressing the history that we're trying to bring to you step by step, plain and simply. Okay? Follow the lesson, follow the teachings of the Moors, because all that, hidden Bibles, hidden books, all this stuff, all they're hiding is this history that we're trying to reveal to you. History has been concealed. That's why was put in the sequence, in the spot it was put in the sequence at the end, because it was at the end which would be revealed to you. We're not where great change comes about due to revelation's information. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. I know to a lot of people.
Shouts out to the family tapping in, man. Let me know where y'all from. Highlight me in the comments, man. Talk to
what you might call the quote unquote intellectual.
This ain't no AI.
The more advanced you are, the more informed you are, the more faith you have developed on what you can get intellect. But you're going to be surprised how much information is put out there.
Yeah,
to
lost some people. Because I said this ain't no AI.
Intellectual appetite.
I don't need no fake ones.
You're going to find that a lot of people
Only the real.
on the intellectual
input
are easily impressed by detailed, complicated information. This is the hit and this, and this is the hit and that, and this is the book of this, and this book of that. But you're going to find that when you get into this knowledge, you get into this understanding, simplicity becomes a virtue. You're going to find that the truth is going to be found in the most simplest form, the most simplest explanation. Okay, now, let's try to finish up this one paragraph here. We ain't going to never finish this paragraph. We just read where the people without knowledge of their own history will remain their own slaveholders regardless of immigration. And reading on it says, plus, the white men cannot afford to teach the so-called Negroes the history of the Moorish nation. There is a missing link to the white man's history
let me know what
of the USA.
Watching from in the
He
chat.
cannot afford it. That would totally upset the quote-unquote status quo. Because if he told us the truth, and we really understood the power inside of us, the power in our minds, and what we really stood for on this planet, there's no way he could let us to send us through this trip we're going through now. There's no way he could convince us of the things he's convincing us of. There's no way we would accept the level of life he has afforded us. We would not accept it if we had true knowledge of what we are, where we come from, and the direction we should be going now. He cannot afford that, because this would mean his end. Revelation. the end. Can't afford it. But whether he can afford it or not, the end is inevitable. He can destroy as many of us as we want with these little man-made laboratory germs and viruses. You know, we're going to have a casualty. He's going to get a lot of us. We're going to feel the sting of his attack. But he'll never destroy us. Never. Never. It will not happen. We were the first, we will be the last. And there's nothing he can do to stop it. He can prolong the agony, but he can't stop it. You know, the brother, you say you got a question, brother?
Yes, I was wondering, we were dealing with the issue of the Bible, and one of the sisters of the class that brought up the issue of the symbolism of Jesus Christ and what the name meant, and if it wasn't a person or what. I want to get clarification. I also want to get some clarification if possible.
Yeah. Brother Johnson, you want to comment on that question, please?
Yes, when it comes to Jesus, we got it on the tape further back, but it's a little bit slanted from what the question is now. You see, Jesus, the way they got it in the Bible, Jesus in Christ, that's a two-part entity. The word Jesus is derived from Descus, but to become Christ-like, that is spiritual illumination.
Pete, all the Christians out there, Christ is a degree. It's a level of consciousness. The Christos, or crystalline mind. Oneness.
Someone was smart enough to realize that dealing with Jesus Christ, they had to make it spiritual to extract from the physical. So they said Jesus Christ is one and the same. Those are two different principles. And when it comes down to Nimrod, you can classify him as being the European, huh? Can you go back and see, what is it, Jim Bowie? And all of those Everglades hunters, Daniel Boone, wasn't they hunters? And what were they hunting? To scalp the Moors so they could infiltrate and disguise and slip into our secret organization. That goes way back. There's a lot of different slants that you can put on that. But leave the question open to you. Whatever you find that fits it. There's always more than one way to explain anything the way this man has set it up. A master phraseologist for way back and a master craftsman from his heart. So when you're dealing with a master phraseologist and a master craftsman, just encircle the whole 9 yards because you might dig up anything.
Okay. Take that explanation, Brother Johnson. Okay, now, that's the whole lesson. We read through the whole lesson, but you got to understand, there was a lot of meat here. When you talk about the history of Horace Greeley, now you have a better understanding on the part he played in this, the significance of this. I mean, this is the point in history when the white people agreed to surrender their birthrights and steal ours through ignorance, because this educational revolution induced an ignorance upon us to where we didn't know if we had birthright.
Man, hit that like button. The like buttons ain't matching the views. Like, what's going on, man? Y'all ain't feeling this? Y'all sitting up in here and ain't really trying to listen and hit the like button,
man. He was the one who started that statement. He popularized it.
Sister
It was started
love.
by publishing before him. But you gotta understand that this whole setup, from beginning to end, is scientifically planned. Every day of our life is scientifically planned. Now, we're the only people that think everything is left up to, well, I'll get up and whatever happens this day happens, but the people in control of this country plan and control everything from beginning to end. Total and complete control has always been their way. Always been. Horace Greeley was a scientist. Just like, there was a brother that came through the Institute that said he actually had the names of the Europeans who were commissioned
I know what it
to
is.
write this false history.
They behave.
With the brother, he's not coming on a regular basis. He's out there. He's doing the deep studies into his own self, but eventually I
It's
guess
all
back to the
good.
door and see if we can drop some names on it so we can substantiate his information. That's why we're teaching everybody. That's why we're passing this knowledge out. We're making everybody that listens to these lessons, everybody get into this understanding because soldiers in this army. Everybody's given enough keys to where they can go out and bring the information back so we can fortify this thing and make it clearer and clearer and stronger and stronger. So when you read the lesson, follow the sequence, understand the sequence. Okay, any other questions on the lesson of Horace Greeley?
Okay, my brother, you told me that a lot of the instructions that you are giving and information
Islam, Mo, tap in.
we have to do research.
Appreciate the demonstration, man.
For ourselves.
Shout out, brother Malik Bay.
And so forth. But if we have inquiring minds and we go out seek and find this information, we can turn it into knowledge. We need to know where we can find it, and if this is true information, then the bookshelves of our library, which are European controlled, may not have these things because the truth is hidden, and we won't know where it's at.
Brother Johnson can make any comments on that question, brother. Brother Johnson? Yes, very funny question. Now, what you have to do, you're reading about Horace Greeley. There are not many Moors know about Horace Greeley. Just get you an old book on Horace Greeley and read it, and you will see that these lessons could be extended farther than what they are. We just took the highlights out of it. But there's a lot on Horace Greeley. Just like there's a lot on Benjamin Banneker. Benjamin Banneker in the schoolroom is Ben Bay in here. He had two names. So when you read about Ben Bay, you'll find out that he was a little bit more than a time clock inventor and a surveyor. They give him credit for helping to lay out Washington, D.C. So he laid it all out. That's why it's all set up on the 12 signs of the zodiac. You ever notice that the Capitol have 12 streets running into it?
And when you say denied you due process with what though?
You got
You said you gave notice on what?
In the Supreme Court, that's indicative of the 9 planets.
Like,
you got 12 jurors.
just notice that you was alive? Like, your name correction judicial proclamation? Or like, were you actually trying to demonstrate on something and like move the court? Like, what do you mean?
Names and lessons.
You feel
All you
me?
have to do is make a note of, prepare your list, go down and do research. And if you don't want to do that, if you're skeptical, get into the Freedom of Information Act, the Library of Congress. A lot of good information comes out of that. Now, we used to have these lessons where we had bibliography at the end of every lesson, but it was taking up so much, so many were reading it and misinterpreting it. That's when we decided to go with the correspondence course. We eliminated a lot of that. But we also kept it in mind that we could always refer you back to it at any given moment in time to do your research. And you want to research on Horace Greeley? They got plenty of books on Horace Greeley. You scan through it, you just pick the meat out. A brother that's called me from New York just now and gave me information, and I'll put it on tape. He found out where we can get the entire volume, 3 volumes of S.P. Scott. The history of the Moorish Empire in Europe. We don't worry about that. We used to get tied up with that. But since we know where Europe was at a particular historical time slot, We take it by the stroke of the mind, bring it right back into the geographical location, and then read it. See what I'm saying? That in itself puts it back to where it was.
Hey, let me know where y'all watching from. Who else just jumped in here?
In ancient history and the Bible were fought on the American continent.
Shout out all the viewers.
And that be the case, nothing away from here. We go abroad and find it and bring it back because this is where it happened. Everything started from here and spread abroad, including Christianity.
There you go.
Okay, thank you for coming, Brother Johnson, but I guess the main point he's trying to make to answer your question, brother, is that this knowledge is scattered. Now, it's not like we can say, go specifically here, go specifically there. Bits and pieces of this knowledge is scattered everywhere. I can say, well, yeah, I went down to the Cleveland Public Library and got into the John D. White section and picked up some keys. I can say, well, then I went to the library in New York, got some more keys, went to Detroit, got some more keys. But you gotta see, I don't want to have you just backtrack and read. I want you to personalize this thing. And say, I can sit down and say every book I read, but then you just see a reflection of me. You were saying, brother? I was saying that you said that
Indeed.
you want me to do research, and you want me to find it for
Tap in,
myself.
man. We'll see what we
You
can
said that you
do.
don't want me to be a reflection of
Get
you.
you a
But if you
consultation,
are a
man.
reflection of the truth, then I want to be a reflection of you. It makes no difference
I'd have to
if I
get
have
some.
to
I'd have
go
to see what you
seek
did.
and find it
I'd
for
be interested to
myself.
see that,
If you
Rick.
give it to me and it's the truth, then the reflection of you is what I want to
Queen
be.
Tams. All right.
But then, at that
Jump
point,
on
how
it.
do you know
Yeah.
it's true? Because
Yeah, I'd
at
just be
that
interested to
point,
see
it's
what you
only
did. How
mine.
you set that up, man.
You say it's yours,
Like,
but if it's
and then like the other question is like, what other writs did you put with it? You just put that in, or did you run the process?
Okay, but
You know the
I
process.
understand where you're coming from. And I know just what you're trying to say. And we can't do that. We
I mean, fairprophets.org,
You'll
violentobsidian.org.
see it unfold before you very.
Make sure y'all can hear me. So again, I was saying, like, what else did you file with it? Where else did you, what did you do? Where did you send it? All that good stuff. What was your process? Did you complete the process? Did you close, did you open, did you close the court? You know what I mean? What'd you tell them to do? Whoop de whoop. But tap in, man. You need a consultation, you can get with me. faithprophets.org, violentobsidian.com.
Okay, now, we do have step-by-step information, step-by-step keys, but you must remember, this is, you're on the ground floor.
Yeah, I don't want to be talking, that's funny.
Introduction phase.
That's hilarious.
The beginning lesson. When you complete these lessons and you get into the circle, we'll walk you through it. You'll see it unfold step by step. We'll even take you traveling with us so you can witness things yourself. But when you're in the educational phase, so much is not to leave up the information, and we'll take you to the actual physical.
Oh, I guess they're just popping in and popping out. It ain't necessarily they don't
I think it takes
want to hear me
yourself.
talk. Y'all want to hear what I'm playing. Y'all trying to figure it out. Keep thinking.
Graduating. Let's introduce the subject to you first, and then we'll take you to another plane of understanding.
Say what the prophet said.
I understand how you feel, and I think it's,
Prophet said, if I could only get you more as a thank you, save yourselves.
perfectly legitimate. But
Boy.
I want to relate to the brother's question in terms of I'll give him the keys, then you take the key and open the door. And once you open the door, we'll join you and delineate it for you. But you have extended the curriculum of our activity by your research. That's why Brother Thomas Bay said he wants everybody to become a researcher. We're getting it for us now. When we get ready to set up the school, we're going to have to extend the curriculum. It's got to...
Mine's violetobsidian.com. Violetobsidian.com. Tap in, man. Get your lessons.
more in detail.
We're gonna be having this and a whole lot more. You know what I mean? Going on over there. So y'all check me, man. Check me and get with it. I'm trying to tell you, it's really going down in 2026 Christian calendar year.
That's what you're here for.
My G.
Open the doors. We can't open all the doors. I'm only one man. Sister Paul is only one woman. Brother Thomas Davis.
Yeah, this is in a live commercial. It turned General Lee Murder notified that she said, back up and said, let her know I need help.
When he comes in, that's just like him.
All right. So if you got a response from the person, send it to the person. Don't send it to the office. You know what I mean? Make sure you send it attention to her next time. You send whatever. But the other thing too is like the AG, is that appointed? So you know what I mean? Like, are they still working there? You know what I mean? Like, did the governor switch up? And I mean, how long ago was this? That's another question, right? But yeah, we'll talk, man. I said, book the consultation, man. I'm telling you, get into it.
That has extended our cable door.
But you have piqued my interest. I'll say that. I am intrigued.
You are researching and find something. You won't exactly be duplicating Brother Thomas Bay. You'll be helping Brother Thomas Bay to extend and expand.
If you want to give a live demonstration, we can do it. You know, we can set that up too. We just do it live. You know what I mean? But you got to, you know what I mean? You want to let everybody see what's going on. And then we'll let them know.
The one that gave 2 increased to 3. The one that gave 1 salary to, he buried it, put it in safekeeping. When the time came, he said, here it is, Lord. It's yours, you take it. I knew you were coming for it. That's why I buried it, to put it in safekeeping. We don't want you to bury this knowledge and put it in safekeeping. We want you to expand upon it. Because if you attempt to expand upon it, you don't exactly have to be right. Bring us your findings, and we will show you how to put the jigsaw puzzle together. Because there's a lot of things, no matter if I teach every day, 24 hours a day, for 6 months, that would be an important point somewhere along the line that I would miss. Because the question wasn't asked, and I couldn't think of it right there. But if you ask the questions, you provoke the thought. Then we have to give you answers to it. And if you out there doing research, you might end up answering some questions that we missed, didn't or couldn't answer.
Because the ultimate question, Brother Malik, is, you know, upon review of your documents, why did you not get a favorable reply? Right? Like, once you went through it and looked through what you did and what demonstrated, like, what did you see that was off, or what did you think that you missed? Right? And then once you've done that level of review, then we can really do the live thing. Because I want you to, you know, really have some participation in this. I don't want this to be me pouring out and you know, tearing you up because you missed something or whatever. Like, I really want you to go through it yourself before you present anything to me on the live, if you want to do it that way. But if you want to be private, you know what I mean, you got to tap in for the win, twin. I'm trying to tell you. Fairprivate or VioletObsidian.com. We almost done with the lesson though, and after this I'm finna go. So y'all, you know what I mean, take advantage of the time we got right now, because as you can see, I don't do this too often.
Now I can understand when you said the only stupid question is that question that's never asked. That's right.
Ask the question.
Right.
Okay. Are there any more questions concerning the lesson of Horace Greeley? Thank you. So at this point, I'm going to say, Assalamu alaikum.
I think that might be it. Yup. That's it for that one, people. So yeah, I'm gonna rock out with y'all for a little bit, because I've been meaning to do this, you know what I mean, do more of these. Like I said, I've been meaning to tap in, but we here. Shout out Brother Ron. Ryan. You know what I mean? Y'all can thank him for giving me that to jump back out here. But man, what else? What else did I want to touch on, man? Other than the lesson, what y'all think about what I just played? You know what I mean? What y'all think about the lesson? Right? Y'all let me know in the comments. Talk to me. If you're watching this on replay, you know what I mean? We'll get through it. But yeah, man, I thought it was quite timely. You know what I mean? That was the lesson about Horace Greeley. Shout out to the Moorish Circle of Mothers and Sons. Shout out CM Bay and all those lessons. We're going to have more demonstrations and information like that coming. I got that on tuck, but we going to have it presented pretty soon as I work through it. Because, we got to do our 1-2 with it. We got to do our thing. But yeah, man, I'm really, really feeling this. Trying to get some stuff going, man. Trying to get back in the groove of things. Get back on the live. Contact Attorney General list for me. How I'm gonna do it for you? Like again, tap in, Mo. Tap in with me. We can figure that out. We can make it happen. Get you some assistance. Like I said, fedprovince.org, violetobsidian.com, man. It's going down in a major way. I'm trying to tell you. Now, if you get on Violet Obsidian and with that membership, we can for sure get it together. You know what I mean? But right now, hey, only way we gonna get a nation is to have either some donations or some cooperations. You feel me? So work with me, I work with you. We'll get it done. 1 to 2. Nation, yeah, we can add some nation. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We can add some nationwide pressure. Get with me, feel me. If you overstand, you see who. I mean, like, really think about it. We got one platform and we got another platform, and it's like we really building this thing, man. I'm really over here with the keyboard on the computer. You know what I mean? Making it happen right now. Like, and if y'all ain't seen Violet Obsidian, like it is a masterpiece. Like for real. Everybody that's seen it has loved it. Like it's really pressure, man. It's like it's real pressure by itself. But yeah, situations like that's what Violet Obsidian is for. Right? But we gonna, like I say, it's Violet Obsidian in its concept is much like, like a flower. It has to unfold just like we do. You know what I mean? We unfold, and we grow and we go through our maturations and our changes, and then we turn into a butterfly. You feel me? But now, like for real, y'all tap in violetobsidian.com, fedprovince.org. It's Nun Nagi. We doing our thing. We live. We in the A with it. You know what I mean? Live from Atlantis. You feel me? Man, fresh off a Stone Mountain. You feel me? But I gotta get ready to go. Hit these streets, man. So y'all let me know, man. Y'all talk to me. I talk back, man. We here. We right here with it. You feel me? So you know what I mean? Ain't nothing space and opportunity, like I keep saying. But yeah. What else did I want to talk about though? Let me back up. So y'all let me know though. What y'all think? Y'all want to get into some more civics and stuff? Y'all want to talk about some more history? Y'all want to talk about current events and things of that sort? Or, you know what I mean? Y'all want to talk about some metaphysics and, some space stuff? Hey, speaking of some space and some metaphysics, right? So just so y'all know, you know what I mean? For those that don't know, they've cracked some codes on some things. But something that I saw yesterday was talking about light, right? Mind you, they have a light chip, and I don't mean like it's not heavy. I mean like it is a light-based chip, right? Like it literally takes light and breaks it down, and what they realize is that light has, as we know, multiple colors within the spectrum, and it's like in between those primary colors are other colors and other what they consider to be wavelengths, right? But just think about every color, everything, all the frequencies of RGB and everything in between, like lanes of traffic or like fiber wire. You know what I mean? Um, and then add to that, if you just rotate it, right, and you have a centrifugal force of motion going on, then you unlock the other dimensions, right, within the light. And they've now shown and been able to show correlation between light and quantum-based systems, right? So when you make that connection and understand there's worlds within worlds, and then everything else is child's play, right? But definitely tap in, man. We going through it. So y'all definitely support, show your love, man. Said Lloyd Robert Gill sold me out in representation 2005 here in claims 1,000 more despite losing 1.7 room military breach contract. All right, so then did you Islam? No, I was a prophet. No, you Ali Islam. Highest honors to the prophet, man. Shout out to all the moles in the world, in the globe, on the earth, navigating these 7 seas. You feel me? In all these multiple dimensions, all the spaces and times. You feel me? But back to the quantum thing. So they showed how it's breaking down, right? And it's lining up with the quantum space, right? And something else that's really interesting is like what they was talking about was how the information gap, right? When you're talking about like the Hawking's effect, it's like there's this thing with black holes. If you know, you know. If you don't, I might butcher it, but so black holes are basically like these, mystery boxes. Stuff goes in, nothing comes out, right? Wrong. Hawkins, figured, hey, something's got to be eking out because as these things get smaller, and they turn into whatever, something is happening. There's an explosion. There's light. There's literally light being emitted from what they call the event horizon or the edge. So what he figured and what they were able to correlate was that something does come back, something does come out. You know what I mean? There is some information because as we know, energy cannot be created, destroyed. It's merely transferred, right? But long story short of it is different dimensions, man. It's other, it's other lanes, it's other places we can go that's not necessarily physically attainable, right? You have to transition and go into a different dimension of sorts because like they say, once you go into a black hole, you're getting stretched out like spaghetti all the way down to your molecules, you know what I mean, and your atoms, right? What does that sound like? You know what I mean? What I just described. But the correlation, right, to the black hole and everything, I'm talking about with that. And what they were finding with the quantum system is that like with these quantum computers, first of all, the chip itself is so cold that it is literally separated from reality, right? So everything works differently. It's a whole nother world, right? But then beyond that, the information, right? They're putting it in, and then for whatever reason they can't necessarily trace it, but then they're getting all these results and this signal that keep getting kicked out on the other end. And everywhere that they're doing these experiments and whatnot, they keep getting this signal. And I just had the bright idea and the thought and the meditation, like, hey, what if that signal is the interference signal they're talking about is the actual interference signal that's stopping us from being able to all collectively see the other end? Or is that necessarily what's holding us in and boxing us in terms of the concept of us being light, condensed and trapped in the matter, right? I've been blackballed by these bedroom claims, persons, the next person, for the non-immediate process. Oh, right. Get down with it, but I see your perspective. We're gonna work on that. And that's another thing too, like overall. our perspectives with this thing, and like the whole council court, like that was part of the issue. Like folks' perspectives was thrown off because they was looking at the wrong stuff and not, you know what I mean, doing enough due diligence on certain things. But violetobsidian.com, man, y'all tap in, bro. We gonna get it all together. But right now, this is just the live, man. You know, this the lie. But they can't hold you hostage from not paying no American Bar Association. That's not how life works. That's not how it works. Like they might have been presenting it to you like that, but that's not how the law works, bro. That's not how the writs work. That ain't how none of that work. Whether or not you paid an attorney. Now, if you signed your rights away and you had a contract, you know what I mean, to do something or for an obligation of some sort, then you might want to look at the terms of the agreement, right? You might want to see, did you reserve your rights in said agreement or did you waive them? But that, you know what I mean, that's a freebie. But y'all should already know that. That's you know what I mean, that's common sense. But maybe I need to do a contract review, and that'll be the next live I do or the next class, right? We just review contracts and, you know what I mean, talk about all that good stuff. But and shout out to the more, is it Negum Bay Muksinkali? Islam, pardon myself if I messed that up, but Islam, you know. But yeah. Only way you can be blackballed is if you was trying to get initiated. Was you trying to get initiated or was you trying to move to court? Because you can't get blackballed. I can't get blackballed. I ain't trying to join no crew. I ain't in no frat. What you mean you got blackballed? You feel me? But we have all this new technology though, getting back to the quantum thing and stuff. Like we got all this new technology going on. They got the flying cars and the flying bikes and stuff, right? And people are living in abject poverty, if I'm saying that correctly. And we don't really seem to feel it or understand it until it hits the gas pump, you know what I mean? And they talk about the Strait of Hormuz and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, like, it's costing me more to live and I got to do this and got to do that, right? But in reality, it's always been there. And like I've been telling folks, like really since the Bretton Woods Agreement, but in more modern times, I would say 2008, right? Since the implosion that they allowed to happen to try to reset the system because it was already so far out of whack and out of balance. And they literally, you know, drained the finances of the people in their faces, you know, live and full effect in a matter of minutes and seconds instead of years. They never fixed it. And then they created more. So really that was the shell game, right? With the derivatives and stuff and like the futures. And the futures market was just really starting to get going for real from the 90s, from the late to mid 90s. But in terms of like ETFs and things of that sort, and now it's a whole nother beast because they've incorporated the crypto and whatnot, which we got some things coming on that front too, which I might as well just go on and drop it and put that up there. But it's only gonna be for members and, you know, those who want to, you know, jump in for the win. But we're gonna get our economic power back, bro. For real. But violetobsidian.com, you know what I mean? Definitely check in with me. Shout out to all the new viewers tapping in, bro. But yeah, we got the crypto stuff going on, man. We got some but yeah, like I was saying, they got the crypto going on now, right? So that's a whole new system, a whole new beast that they throwing in the mix, right? And understand, like, part of the reason why we went into this whole Iran situation was because of the fact of, like I was saying before, BRICS, right? They've been stepping it up. They've been doing their thing. This whole Bretton Woods and the gold standard. We took ourselves off of said gold standard and tried to hold everybody else to the punch, right? And said, you got to pay in dollars for the oil. If you don't pay in dollars for the oil, you ain't getting no, you know what I mean? You ain't getting no oil, right? No power, right? So you ain't getting no oil, you ain't getting no juice, you ain't got no power. You got to pay in the dollars, right? So everybody else said, we tired of that, right? So they started BRICS. And so from that point on, all of these nations have been coming together to create their own economic base and their own front on things. And when the grips of it became too much and they felt like they can't, control it anymore, you send in the jackals, right? And when the jackals don't work, when they couldn't get the Iranian people to overthrow their government, right? Because you literally had Trump saying, "Oh, rise up, take over your country and stuff," right? And when they didn't do that, now what are they doing? A troop insurgency. But they ain't said where they're gonna drop them. They ain't, they really don't have no game plan, because it's like they saying the Straits of Hormuz, when you coming out from the ocean, looking at the land, it's a big ass wall, right? And it's like you've seen what it looked like in those old movies when jokers try to storm the castle. You know what I mean? Like, imagine trying to storm the castle from the beach though, and the beach is like maybe 10 feet of actual sand, and the rest of it's water, and you just got a big ass cliff in front of you. Like, really think about that. Like, how you gonna make that work, bro? And they just booming rockets over your head. You know what I mean? But and it's crazy as it sounds. It's like, how did you get rid of all nuclear capabilities 2 years ago, but now you did it again? And the whole 2 weeks away thing, like that's always been funny to me. It's like they're 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon, and it's like, bro, that was 6 months ago, that was 6 years ago, that was you know what I mean? Like, what are y'all talking about? But shoot, and it's like, I don't know. It's how you related to bit. Personally, no. I'm not personally related to him, but we are related in the family of being Moors and being a nation of people. You feel me? So yeah, we are related in that way, good brother. But personally, I don't know my direct bloodline descent connection to him. No, I don't know that personally. But I like the question. I like where you're going. But we in here, man. What was I saying? So yeah, man. We doing our thing out here, man. We building, moving and grooving, trying to keep it on the up and up, because a lot of y'all definitely fell off the wagon there for a minute. And we got a lot of new moles. I ain't gonna lie, it's a whole lot of new moles out here, man. It's a whole lot of new moles out here now. It's totally different, total whole new world from when I started. You feel me? And they real ready. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say. They real right ready. You feel me? But they out here, man. And they've been demonstrating, doing their thing, man. Shouts out to all of y'all. Salute. But yeah, it's a new day. It's a new day. PM, bro, you just got jokes today. No, I ain't related to all of you people. I would tell you who I am related to, but I'm gonna let y'all figure that out too. Oh, here we go. That was my time. Sorry. That was my little alarm. But yeah, man, we on point. We doing the Wang Dang Doodle. Shout out to our DJs, man. Shout out to DJ Big Easy. In this thing, man. Who else? Shout out to our coalition DJs, you know what I mean? We about to be in the building tonight. If you want to tap in, you want to see me in person, and you in the Atlanta, Georgia, I will be in Stankonia tonight. So for New Music Monday, so tap in for the win. Like I keep saying, bro, I'm trying to tell you, we out here. But signing out. It's your boy Nagi, Nun Nagi. Peace and love to all the moles. Y'all check me, man. All right. One.